Okay, my name is Jason Mead, as you guys have probably heard at this point. I'm the owner of two different companies. One is Media 360, which is a TV advertising agency. We place television ads for other real estate investors all over the U.S., and I'll get into that in more detail. And then Carson Properties. Carson Properties is rentals, flips, wholesales, and agent. As of recently, funny story about the Media 360 logo. My brother is a pastor here. He's also a very talented graphic designer. Few people know that. And so I sent him this logo and two other ones. I'm like, hey, which one do you like of these? He picks this one. Sweet. So I ran with it and looked everything up. And fast forward a couple months later, me and Joe, my youngest brother Tony, are all around the table, and I don't even remember how we got on the topic, but I showed Tony the logo, and I said, dude, that sucks. That's terrible. What are you talking about? I said, Joe's a graphic designer, and he said it was good. And he's like, no, I mean, of the three, it was good. I don't like it either. And he's like, yeah, it's like a Mick logo. It looks like the Mick Cafe logo. So that's my Mick logo. I digress. My plan for the day is there's a very wide swath of talent in the room, and there are giants in the room, and there are people that are just looking to, look into the real estate space or wanting to start a business. And I've learned a ton from giants. And shockingly, as I've gone through different conferences and stuff, I've learned a lot also from the guys that are just a rung or two further along the road than me. And you can get that. The big guys, they don't remember like what it was like to discover QuickBooks. They don't know. They've forgotten. So that's kind of my hope is for those of you that are newer and you want to get down the road. I can speak a little bit to the getting started and all that good stuff. If you have specific questions, especially the ones that are like specifically here for real estate, shout them out, let me know, and I'm more than happy to come off script and talk about those things. So don't be afraid to do that. I'm going to go through and I'll talk a little background and what I thought life was going to be and what it looked like it was going to be, and then what God did and how He basically coordinated all of it. And I thought my life was coming to an end. And then I have some practical tools at the end that will help immensely as you're starting to embark on your journey. So I do have a degree in advertising and marketing from Ferris State. If we have any Ferris State alum in the room.
I flunked out after the first time.
The version of you I know versus what you told me. Wow. Anyway, I did graduate with a bachelor's degree in advertising and marketing. That was fun. So I actually did an internship with what was then Continental Cablevision, and I thought I wanted to be a producer and make commercials. And to this day, I didn't do that real job. I don't get it, but anyway. So I'm doing the internship with Continental Cable, and on the other side of the building, there's all these other guys in suits, and they're all driving like BMWs and Mercedes and stuff. And I'm like, what are they doing? Because I see like, what are they doing? And that's the advertising sales side. So I came back the next year and did an advertising sales internship, and just absolutely loved it. Go around talking to businesses, meeting people, and designing campaigns and putting people on TV, and just absolutely fell in love with it. And so that's what I did. They actually hired me right out of college, and I hit the ground running with that, and really enjoyed it. I spent 5 years here in Lansing doing that, and the opportunity to sell in the Detroit market came available, so I did. I went, and my boss actually moved, and I called me and said, dude, you gotta come over here. His question was, what would it take to get you to move to Ann Arbor? And I moved. I did the thing where you write the number on the napkin and slide it over the table, and I guess I left the zero off because he said yes. So that was so tremendous experience, and was doing well, and was a top performer, and just everything was this. Later on, the opportunity came to come back to Lansing and manage a team. So I, of course, applied for that and got that. So I ended up moving back to Lansing. The pivotal point was I never moved, so I stayed in Lansing. My office was in Ann Arbor. My territory was Brighton, Detroit, and then I drive back to Lansing every day. So like 50, 60,000 miles a year on my car. It was fantastic. I can't even tell you how many times I've been cover to cover in the Bible. I would listen to the Bible instead of driving. And that was probably, that was absolutely the biggest growth in my relationship with the Lord was in that time. There's so many just amazing things that happened in that. So I started to supplement that also with other podcasts and other books, and that it was my role in university. That's really what it was. And so I stumbled on the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, lots of North and South. You guys know what it is. Blew my mind. It was like there's something else out there other than a W-2. So that now that's in there, and now I'm starting to think on that. In that time frame, I meet my wife, Carla. I know her. She's amazing. And she has a house. I have a house. We get married. She moves into my house, and then I just read this book. So we're gonna rent your house because we're in families. And so we rent her house. I think it was a net positive experience, but it was terrible for Carla because all she could see was, did you see what they did to the walls? I hated those walls. She was emotionally attached to it, so we didn't get out of that. So eventually we sold that house, sold my house, bought our marital house, and then that was about 2007 and 8, and the market crashed. And I said, whoa, dude, we totally messed up. That real estate stuff is scary. I'm not doing that again. And I really believe that, I dodged the bullet, and I was the smartest man in the room. But that was the time to buy, so I didn't get it. So that was the real estate plunge, and I was like, no, I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on my career. This is the thing. I'm a sales manager back in Lansing, running a team of 8 to 9 people, managing millions of dollars, like you do. Everything's going great. I credit being in leadership for a Fortune 50 company as learning how the world actually works. If you've seen the movie The Matrix, that's 100% true. There's the perception of how things work, and then there's the reality of how things work. So it was an incredible time of learning. That was all the stereotypes of corporate America. Yep, I'm in it. I'm living. I'm working 7 to 7. No time for the kids. They're playing. I'm over on my phone handling business and putting out fires and doing a thing. And it was good, but there was a cost to it. And all those benefits would come later that I didn't realize at the time. So then came the day that Comcast did what most Fortune 50 companies do, is they just reorganize every 4 years for no reason. I know the reason, but we're not going to get into that. Extremely tough lesson. I learned business politics, and the people that I thought were my friends were not my friends. And that was one of the orchestrators of the guys stabbing me in the back. So essentially, they had to reorg, and so it was his job or my job. And I got the ultimatum where you can either resign and go away, or you can go back in sales. It's a no-brainer, man. It's going to go back in sales. I can do that all day long. What they didn't tell me was it was like the worst list in Michigan. So when I came out of sales into leadership, I was managing 50 to 100 clients, which was great. So then I get this new list, and it's my clients on it. So it was basically like, yeah, we're going to put you over there, and you're going to die here. That way, you're not going to sue us. I think that was the mentality. So questioning everything. It's like, Lord, what's going on? Did I miss it? Is this, am I not letting the Israelites go? What am I doing? So I was very confused. And I'm in and out of all these other businesses, and I'm constantly praying, Lord, someday I'd like to have a successful business. Not a business, a successful business. There's a difference. I watched my dad struggle for 30, 40, 50 years. I want a successful business, not just a business. And then all this stuff comes crashing down. Freaking out. So that head game right there was amazing, because I had put my value in what I could do and what I brought to the table and who they thought I was. And that was where I was driving my value. So God stripped all that away, because I had it. But not in some approval. So because it was a 40% pay cut, was what that ended up equating to. So this got me really interested in real estate real quick. So I started supplementing income with buying up rental properties to try to do that. Didn't do the math first. I just figured Robert Kiyosaki said it was good, so I just figured go do it. Yeah. Tons of hard knocks, and we can talk specifically about these things if you want to know. But the picture that's here, this one, well, I won't tell you his name, but that's our director of sales, and that picture is important to me because he's the guy that orchestrated the resign or the ultimatum. And like a year later, and handed that award for outstanding achievement, I totally rewrote the list and made it great again. And so that was a moment. I want to go out like that, not like the other way. So after I got that, I said, okay, I can leave on my terms. In the middle of this, God has been chatting with me. He does weird things, and I love it. So I don't know how many times I go to the movie. Maybe 10 times a year. I don't know. And I go to NCG. And I once heard a guy here talk about he prays for 20 things, but that's why he gets the best parking spots. And that's always just stuck with me. So I pull into NCG and I said, Lord, just like that guy I saw at church, I'm like, nice parking spots, kind of cool. Straight in front, center, as close as you can get to the door. Car backs out, I'm back in. Thanks, Lord, that's amazing. However, many months later, I come back in, that's possibility. But every single time for a year, I got that one spot, 7 to 10 times, all the time. I'm like, Lord, what? I'm not connecting these dots. I don't know what you're saying, but I know it's a thing. This is the thing. Like it was me. I would just pull up, and I would just wait for a second. I would pull up, and I pull up, and it was me. And I was talking to my brother one day, and he dropped the meeting on me and said, hey, don't worry, God's got to stop you. Oh, so now, okay, I know something's happening. I've got the same chunk of nuggets for you. So, quote from Henry Ford, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. So choose you can. It's a mental thing. That's what I learned from that award, because I really thought, like, okay, career's over, I'm worthless. At that time, like, Google Analytics was coming out, and everyone's advertising on Google, and TV's dying was the mantra around the station. And so I really thought I was washed up in that. So that getting that award and that, nope, you're the story, but you're also the author. You can make those things happen. So I get headhunted is the next chapter, and I'm fully willing to move. I'm going to jump ship here, and one of my old relationships from Continental Cable back in 1996 reached out, hey, we must be familiar with Metronet. They just bought Lightspeed. We're going to go fiber optic. We know Lightspeed. It's going to be amazing. Sky's the limit. And I believed him. What I didn't know was it was just the merging of the two companies was such a hot mess. Nothing worked. Everything was difficult. There was so much confusion. And Lord, did I miss it? I surely I messed up here. Everything is difficult. And keep in mind, at the same time, I still had the real estate stuff going. So I still use REI Blackfoot as my software, and I automated everything. So I advertise for properties that maybe I can flip or take as a rental or wholesale out. And then they would text in, and I could automate the text response to a certain point that I have to jump in, and it was actually live. So lunch break, I'm doing all the Metronet stuff. Lunch break, I run down my car, my messages, get my laptop up, and then I go back in and work, and then I go back down my car, sit there for an hour, and do my stuff. And so, that's my side hustle. It's crazy. I look back at it now, and I'm like, oh, you just do. That's what you gotta do. So, building all that stuff. Then COVID hit. This is April 3rd, 2020. And this random meeting pops up in my Metronet calendar. 4:30 Friday, no description. You see? Everybody that's been in leadership knows, oh boy, you're getting fired. So I recognize that as me getting fired also. And my boss didn't even know about that, so I'm unorganized. And this meeting was a big fit that said, hey, COVID hit, you're low man unmovable, you're done as a right now. Awesome. The reason I remember the date was because it was my son's birthday. We were planning his birthday party. I literally, I got off the phone, happy birthday. So my brain, like, I was really trying to stay engaged and be present, but I was struggling with this. Lord, now I've gone from bad to worse to nothing. Nothing. How are we gonna make money? I'm watching my son, and this is cool, right? So we had to do the car training thing. So he's on the parking lot, and all the cars are driving by, and they're handing stuff through the window, and they're like, how are we gonna pick your school? He goes, Lansing Christian. That's the thing. I don't know. I'm like, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do that? How am I gonna do that? And I started like putting my hands on what God is doing. Just let him do. So that was a tough lesson. I had, young guys used to train us to ask the question, like, hey, what keeps you up at night? You know, like that's the the stupidest question ever. I never say it. Now on the other side, I'm like, yes, that's an awesome question. I just didn't sleep. My brain is going crazy. Whatever. And I'm not. Faith is a muscle that you have to exercise, just like anything else. Just like when John's working out for that. It's the same thing. That's what I didn't realize. That was my workout. That was my faith workout. So, bottom drops out. I'm advertising, trying to find deals, and a little bit's coming in, but it's not enough to sustain it. It's doing this. But there's a crash coming pretty soon. I'm probably about 4 months left before we're gonna have to do something serious. And I get a phone call from a guy, and he's like, "Yeah, we talked like 4 months ago, and I think I'm ready to sell my house." I won't get into all the details. I'll give you the good part. Well, the market had gone like that in this time, and so I bought his house for $186,000, and 3 months later sold it for $286,000. We flipped it. I made $100,000 on that. So like God just totally came in and like, yeah, it's over here. So now you think, now let's do a project, So God continually brought in like these amazing. It's gonna be fun. And it's that thing, Ron, you touched on it. You have the false sense of security in the W-2 world. Like, they're the people that are sustaining you. But it's not God is sustaining you. God is the source. And I think the thing that I said when we were doing coffee was like, you don't know what faith is until you're an entrepreneur. Then you really understand what faith is. So you're just continuing to work and lots of things are happening. So now I'm full-time Carson Properties. At that time, we bought a single family, bought a duplex, bought a fourplex. It was in that window somewhere when all this is going down, and I quickly realized that on a tactical basis, we're going to have to wholesale and flip a lot more than we are, and so that's what we did. We started flipping and wholesaling a bunch of houses to get that. People learn in many ways, but experience that's key. Yes, that doorknob is hot. It eventually led to being able to get into a 108 unit in Texas, Sierra Royale. This is a fantastic opportunity, super easy. So we did that. Nugget time. Here's the simple way to say it. Nothing happens to you, everything happens for you. I don't ask, why is this happening to me? I don't think like that anymore. Now it's, what am I supposed to learn from this? Nothing happens to you, everything happens for you. There's a lesson, you have to look for the lesson. It's that faith muscle. All things work together for good for those that trust the Lord. It's the scripture that's actually fine. Romans 8:28. So now we're on the journey, now we're starting to do a little more stuff, and I realize I need some help, because I'm getting pretty deep. I made the analogy in one of my mastermind groups. I felt like that little kid that just jumped in the swimming pool, and you're walking down the pool, and then you get that part where the bottom slides through. Wait a minute. The water started to come up like this. I felt like it, so I figured it's probably time to get some professional help and get with a group that's doing what I'm doing and get educated. So I went to the free seminar. Robert Kiyosaki was in town, and he was going to teach you how to do real estate. Have you been to the free seminar? It was $30,000. I did that. Everybody likes that. I do it again. I'm just saying. that was the thing. So they gave you great, like, 30,000 foot overview information, but it really, I mean, I was kind of already there. I needed the next level down, but through that, I was able to connect with Damon, who owns REI Blackwood, which was a software that I had been using, and joined his mastermind group, which was pivotal. It was mind-blowing. And so, like I mentioned, at that time I'm using TV, direct mail, and Google AdWords to advertise and find these deals. And when you join a mastermind group, one of the things you do is you want to come with a gift. They meet quarterly, and every quarter you come with, hey, what was the great thing that you can share with the group that you learned? Well, my gift was, I can teach you guys the best kept secret in marketing. I can teach you how to advertise on TV effectively. And everyone's like, yeah, tell me more. So I did that, and I started helping other people in my mastermind group do it. And my intent was like, here's all the tools, here's the keys, because I'm doing this. What ended up happening was, yeah, that's all awesome, but I don't want to learn any of that, so you just do it for me. Okay. So I started teaching this stuff, and actually the platform there is like doing seminars on how to buy TV effectively for other real estate investors like me. It's funny, Proverbs 16:9, men plan, but God orders their steps. And that's, it doesn't matter what lane you're in, you're still driving, right? You're still moving forward. And so that began Mead 360. And I kind of touched on this earlier, but it's TV agency specific to REI real estate investors. Not everybody knows what that means. It means that, like, we buy airtime on NBC, CBS, Fox, and other networks. We're in 13 different markets around the US right now. Yes, we produce the ads and make the commercials and all those things, and it is huge fun when you're not in the corporate world. It's much better when it's on your own. So never had you told me 5 years ago, yeah, you be a full-time real estate investor, and you have a media agency, and all these cool things are happening. I wouldn't believe it. Another time. I'll share this story before I tell you why. On the TV advertising side, Mead 360. So at this point, the clients that I have are other mastermind group people. So I think it was like 3 that I was helping at the time. And I had this great opportunity. There's an absolute giant in our field. His name is Jerry Green. And he got my input. He called me instead of Zooming. He said, dude, I want to see what you're doing in TV. We're thinking about making a substantial investment in television. And I think you're the guy. And I'm like, Lord, this is it. This is our breakthrough. This is going to be amazing. And so we do our Zoom, do the thing, we talk, and nope, we don't get it. We don't get it. So my previous mindset was like, dude, see, maybe this isn't it. Why didn't that work? But what I learned was what I needed to make that work. Because as I thought about it, I saw the missing holes and the information that I didn't give and what I should have had presented and all those things. Turned out he ended up referring like 3 or 4 other people. So again, there were like, oh Lord, that would have been he wasn't the guy. He was the guy that was going to bring all these other guys. So just, well, wait and fail. So give yourself permission to fail. Stop playing it safe. Take a risk and learn from it. Everybody's thing right now is, hey, stay safe, stay safe, stay safe. And I know why they're saying it, and that's fine. But my thing is, hey, take a risk. Do something. Learn from it. And then Romans 8:31 on the bottom there is, have that mental set. If God is for us, who can be against us? Literally, there is no better backup in the world. So, turning back to the sleepless nights, which every once in a while I'll still get. Philippians 4:6 has been my rock. And in this season, it's transferred from here to here. In fact, I even have a song. Somebody else wrote it that I sleep to. And it's just the scripture over and over that I sleep to. Be anxious about, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, in prayer and contention, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. I love 8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about those things. That's the faith muscle. Like, why do you think about, oh my gosh, my business is gonna go under? It used to be every time it would rain, I couldn't sleep because I was thinking, what property is flooding right now? I couldn't sleep. No, we're taking care of all that. Think about the good things. Don't think about what could go wrong. Okay, practical tools. For all you guys that want to get into business, start with these two things. The compound effect. Has anybody read this book? Awesome. Very, very good. And I don't know if Aaron Hardy is a Christian, but boy, it sure sounds like it. Is it? You can tell just by reading the book. It talks about how small things are not actually the small things, and weighing your decisions and analyzing, Ron, like what you touched on. But why are you thinking that? What's holding you back from taking that action? What truly, not what you're saying, what is it actually? And taking a step back. Think deep. So the example that he gives in the book, in the compound effect, Lowell Search, he talks about, like, you adopt the habit of just having a bowl of cereal at night as you're watching TV or you're winding down, not just that bowl of cereal. But he goes, but it's bigger than that. Look at everything through a 24-month lens. If you did this every day for 24 months, is that a net positive on your life or a net negative on your life? And then he went so far as to, well, that bowl of cereal was 450 calories. 450 calories times 5 days a week times a year times 2 years. That's a 12-pound increase over 24 months. So this seemingly small thing is actually, I'm deciding to put 12 pounds on my life. It's like, wow. So then filter that through your business. What actions are your business doing? What's the 24-month outcome of your actions in your business, or your actions in your cold calling, in your follow-up, in your staff meetings, in your, you can go through systematically and touch everything with that filter. And then my other one is profit first. How many read this book? Oh, if you're thinking about getting into this business, or into any business, read this book first. Because when you start making some money, you're going to need to know what to do with it. and I'm not talking about like, oh, you should invest this and have, no. This is talking about like your checkbook. This is what your checkbook should look like. For example, I used to be with these businesses all the time. There were some businesses you could 5 minutes in a building, I can tell if you're thriving or not. Some businesses have like the checkbook style operating. So if there's money in the checkbook, you must be able to do it. If you're going to advertise it, true, there's money in the checkbook, Then there's the other way. This is so sub-accounts. You've got your operating expenses, you have your tax allotment, you have your profit, you have your owner draw, and you have your marketing and advertising. And it's the buckets. And then depending on how many gross sales your business is doing, there's different percentages allocated to each bucket. It's just a structure to run your finances. That combined with QuickBooks is beautiful. Okay, and now just some like general bullet mindset stuff. Don't compare yourself to others, especially in the real estate world. There are guys on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, and they're like, dude, I started last Tuesday, I just made $10 million. What? Don't do that. God has a specific plan for you, and He knows what you can take and what you can't take. And He knows what pieces are missing in your mental strength, and that's how He's going to build you piece by piece. Fear, lean into it. Don't give fear time. Fill it. Act on it. And there's two types of fear. There's the fear that I mentioned, like sleepless nights, and that's what Philippians 4:6 is for. And then there's the other kind of fear, like when TL asks you to speak, and you're like, I'm not prepared, I'm not equipped, this isn't what I do. And there's that fear. When it's something new, lean into it. When you feel it, like run, kill it. Lean into it. Mission accomplished. Open your mouth. Ask for help. Keep on asking. I don't know what it is, but some people, like, this is not my world. I don't want them to know that I'm really struggling. I don't want them to know that I don't know this thing, or I think they think I'm smarter than I actually am. That was my thing. I assumed people thought I was smarter than I actually was. So I wouldn't ask because I didn't want them to know that, I don't know that stuff. I know that's fine. Open your mouth. Opportunity comes. You don't know what that person can help you with, or what TL, what he's got for you, what John's got for you, Don't be afraid to ask. Find a mentor. Find a mentor. This is huge. Pastor Dave used to talk about all the time that he actually budgets a certain percentage towards self-improvement. I forget what the percentage was. Somehow in my mind that landed, I have the way here. Invest $20 in yourself. That's not what he's talking about. Like, double down on yourself. People ask all the time, I want to get into real estate, what's the first thing I should do? Invest in yourself is the first thing you should do. And I just say this for context, to go to the map. The conferences and the seminars and the Robert Kiyosaki stuff, I'm probably $75,000 in over the last 5 years. Which, again, if you ask me 5 years prior, would you ever, those guys are all after your money. Maybe they are, but there's still some great content in there that I benefited from. Your default setting is going to work out because God is on your side. All things work together for good for those that trust the Lord. So if you're in a rough season, there's a reason. It's not, learn the lesson while you're in the valley. And then see your business from a position of abundance. I talk to other real estate investors like, I don't know, in my market, it's really, there's only so many things like that. No, see everything from a position of abundance, because literally, God the Father is your source. He owns it all. I don't know 1,000 guys. So, to wrap it up, the closing statement, as I have 31 minutes, almost 30 minutes. Exactly. I am so thankful that Metronet let me go, because I have to be an entrepreneur. I have never been happier. I've never been more fulfilled. I would say the highs are higher, the lows are lower, so we move like that. On that game, it's fantastic. I joke that my wife and I have a nice role reversal, where I used to be 7 to 7 in the corporate world, and she handled everything at home, and raised the kids, and picked them up, and cooked, and did all that stuff. And now it's the other way, because she's working more. My office is in the home, so I'm cooking and doing all that stuff. And I had that experience earlier. We probably would have eliminated like 85% of our fights, because now I understand who she's got involved. Those things are great across the board. So that's what I mean by